Hello, good people of YouTube. Sealord here, and today something quite interesting has happened. So, I was at work when my Discord notifications started to go off quite rapidly, and apparently Wargaming is launching a new Warships based product that in and of itself I think is actually really neat and something I wouldn't mind owning. And what they're doing is they are releasing a book that goes over the inception and evolution of the cruiser class of warships, which is pretty cool. It looks like it's going to be one of those like technical manual type books. If you guys have ever been to like Books A Million or whatever, I don't know, whatever big bookstore you guys have wherever you live at, and you always pass by those like cross section books. It looks like it's a little bit of that with some more history into it. Again, I don't have one right now. No one does right now. But from the video that's up on the website, it looks like something along those lines, which I think is pretty cool. Apparently, the book has 384 pages with designs, illustrations, talks about the designers, the shipyards, the shipbuilders, the admirals, and the politicians, and all of that goes into, of course, designing and constructing a ship. So, I think that's pretty neat. And again, I myself wouldn't mind owning something like this. In fact, I have a couple of books like this on other classes, mostly battleships, because that's, of course, what my little ADHD brain is obsessed with, right? So, I mean, Wargamers, if you're listening, please do one of these for battleships, and I might actually pick one up. We'll get to why here in a second. So, that's cool. I think that idea right there, in and of itself, perfect. You know, Wargaming, they do a ton of research when it comes to designing these ships. They often have access to the original blueprints. When it comes to museum ships, they look at the designs, the histories, all that goes into making a ship in this game. If you haven't checked out some of the behind-the-scenes dev diary videos that they put out about designing these ships and stuff, you really should if you're interested in stuff like that. So, yeah, if there's going to be someone to do it, Wargaming is, one of the companies that I would say, they've done a ton of this research when it comes to warships, and of course, with the tanks as well, with the tanks and stuff. For them to release something like this, totally something that I would see them doing, and I think that they could pull off well. And from what we've seen here, from the brief glimpses into the books that the video does give us, it looks like it's pulled off pretty well and professionally done. I'm not sure if they're publishing through or working with this Dutch company, Cook and Becker. That's the website that you order these books from. But yeah, so anyway, that's the product. Again, by itself, something that I think is very cool. But then we get to purchasing said product. So right now, what's going on with this, it's a limited edition run. So there's only going to be so many of these books made, which it's unfortunate. I'd rather it be like a full-on published thing, but I guess with a smaller community like World of Warships, you probably really couldn't justify printing, I don't know however many copies you have to make to get onto like retail shelves, probably hundreds of thousands, right? So maybe okay. But okay, it's a limited run. Fine, whatever. I think they're making somewhere along the lines of 1,500 of these books. So, yeah. I mean, if you look at the player base, it's probably like, between the base game on PC, Legends, and then Blitz, probably 500,000 active players. Well, 500,000 accounts, depending upon how you count active players, one person that plays once a month, probably 500,000, really like 200-ish thousand, I would imagine, across, all platforms in terms of active players. Again, I'm just spitballing here, right? So, like 1% of the player base may actually be interested in buying this, and then you have to say, well, do we really want to think that entire 1% of the player base are actually interested in buying this or are going to actually buy it? So then you do a fairly smaller run. And it's the first time, to my knowledge, that they've done something like this. So, you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket and, that basket not make it where you want it to make it, right? So, okay, I can see the limited run thing. Now, the prices are pretty pricey for a book. Honestly, not the highest prices I've seen for some of these, technical books that go over the designs of ships and such. It starts at $100. And you might be thinking, ooh, that's kind of expensive for a book. Yeah, I mean, for a book by itself, again, it is pretty expensive. But again, I've seen other books that are similar to this go for much more that aren't as well stylized and presented as this one is. So, not beyond reason right there, at least in my mind. Now, you might be thinking, well, Sealord, you said it starts at $100. Yes, it does, oh viewer. Because in true wargaming fashion, there are different bundles you can buy for this book. And the higher bundles do come with some more interesting things. When you get to the Admiral's Edition, well, let me start off with what bundles you can get, or what editions you can get. The Lieutenant's Edition is just the book plus some in-game items. So, let me just run through it real quick, then I'll go back and tell you what each one gives you. Lieutenant Edition, $100, that's the book, and some in-game items. The Captain's Edition is some better in-game items and the book. The Admiral's Edition is, you get a certificate of authenticity, you get a neat little logbook and pen, some gold cards, and it looks like a compass, right? The Grand Admiral's Edition, which costs $400, is the same as the Admiral's Edition, except it is signed by Victor Kisley, the guy that started Wargaming. And there's something else that you get with that too. But real quick run through again of the prices. Lieutenant's $100, Captain is $199, Admiral's is $299, Grand Admiral's is $399. 400 schmackaroonies for Victor Kisley's signature. Which, if you're into wargaming's history and stuff, I can see how that seems to be pretty cool. But what do you get in terms of in-game stuff? So for the Lieutenant's Edition, which is again the bottom tier one, you get, well, for the PC, you get either the Weimar, the Atlanta, the Weimar, the Atlanta, or the München, which is those are a bunch of mid-tier cruisers. So, okay, you get a, tier 7 cruiser for what does that run you nowadays? Like $20? So you're really paying $80 for the book just off of that. But you get a port slot, 14 days of premium time, 30 of the blue boosters, and 3 million credits. So I think once you add all that together, that's like $30 worth of stuff. So, or maybe like 35, or I guess if you stretch it, 40. So you're really paying $60 for the book, which I'd rather just buy the book for $60, right? Not have to worry about the in-game stuff. If this was $60, I would actually buy this right now, right? All right. And then you go up to the Captain's Edition, which for PC you get either the Otago, the Shield, or the Mainz. All pretty good cruisers. Otago and the Mainz being the best ones. Shield's kind of, Shield's okay. You get a 10-point commander, 1 port slot, a month of premium time, 20 of the red economic boosters. So you get each, the commander XP, the credits, and the free XP. So that on top of 4.5 million credits for PC. But, that's a double jump in price right there, you're right, from 100 to 200. So, again, like a $40 premium ship, $48 premium ship, a month of premium time. So, again, you're getting more for your money, right? But, I mean, still, for a book and some digital items. And then for the for the Admiral's Edition for a PC, you get the Puerto Rico, the Tier 10 American Dockyard Heavy Cruiser. And that's $299, $300 for a Puerto Rico and a book. Get a port slot, 2 months of premium time, and 25 of the rare economic bonuses. So you get 5 more of the red economic bonuses. So you might be thinking, well, if they're offering the Puerto Rico for the Admiral's Edition, what are they offering for the Grand Admiral's Edition? This is where it gets very interesting. So on top of getting Victor Kisley's signature in your book, you also get, and I quote, a much anticipated ship. I know 80% of y'all minds just went to one ship, as did mine when I read this. And on top of that, you get, again, 10 skill point commander, 1 port slot, 2 months of premium time, and the 25 red economic bonuses. Now, you might be thinking, well, Sealord, surely it can't be that ship, right? Right? Right. Because that ship isn't in game yet. We haven't even heard much about that ship, and they're taking orders already. They're taking pre-orders right now. According to the website, this will be launching sometime in May. So you've got, well, they're taking orders from now through October. I'm sorry, now through December 14th. And these are expected to ship sometime in May. So you got November, December, January, February, March, April, May. You got 7 months until this actually ships out. That is plenty of time for them to figure out how to get that ship in game, which they've already been doing a lot of work on it and stuff. If you haven't been able to catch the drift yet, I'm talking about the Kitakami. I don't know what other premium ship right now you could describe as a much anticipated ship. Because a lot of times when they reference like upcoming ships, they'll be like, oh, like just an upcoming premium, something like that. But much anticipated, I haven't really seen that verbiage used a lot when referring to a future premium ship. So if they really want to friggin' sell something, they slap Kitakami on it, right? So, because it's such a stupid ship. It's a ship that we have been waiting to see the return of in game for an eternity. And it is a cruiser. It is classified as a cruiser now. I think it originally had like the ship itself in real life was a cruiser, but in this game they tried to introduce it as a destroyer. That didn't work, so they pulled it, and now they're trying to reintroduce it as a cruiser. So yeah, if you want to get your cruiser book to sell, you'd slap that cruiser with it. Honestly though, if I'm about to drop like $400 on something like this, I wouldn't do it if I didn't know what ship I'd be getting, because I'm willing to bet it's the Kitakami. However, there's always a chance it's not the Kitakami. They could give you like the frickin', I don't know, the Michelangelo. Or it might be the I-400 if they're going to, go crazy and put that thing in here. Again, I don't think they'd put, a cruise, submarine or destroyer or battleship in, the cruiser book bundle, right? That wouldn't make any sense. But when you're offering Puerto Rico at the tier before this one, I don't know what else you could offer besides like maybe the Alaska, which, they offer in the Black Friday bundles right now. Because, Puerto Rico's already, pretty unobtainium, right? Because it's a dockyard ship. I think it's only in the Santa containers, right? So that's pretty unobtainium right there. How do you get above unobtainium like that? That people would want to buy. But at the same point, too, again, they're not saying exactly what it is. They're hinting at what it is. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting seeing what this ship is in frickin' 7 months. I believe it's May that they are going to be shipping them out. I read it somewhere earlier here on this page. Oh yeah, May 2024. Although the book won't be shipped until May 2024, campaign backers will receive a beautifully designed premium card in the mail before Christmas. Yeah. So again, like by itself, I think this is really neat. I think it's cool for Wargame to do something like this. Again, they've done the research and such, and combining all that into a book and presenting it as professionally and as neat as these books look, cool. I'm on board with that. Slapping the ships on top of it, I mean, fine, whatever. At the end of the day, you do know what you're buying if you're buying this, right? Unless you buy the $400 one and you get Victor Kivsley's signature, but you don't know what premium ship you're getting. But yeah, like, I think it's a neat idea. I think, of course, they couldn't do something goofy like they normally do with the monetization, and they just, had to get a little bit more money out of it. It might be them trying to cover costs, because I can imagine printing a bunch of books probably aren't that cheap, but I think, if you're already paying $60 per book, basically, you're got to be clearing it in some way, shape, or form, from my mind at least. But again, I think it's pretty harmless. Again, you know what you're getting yourself into if you want to buy something beyond just the lieutenant grade book, right? So there is that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Very interested to hear what you guys think about this book and these levels that they're selling them in. I will link to the website down below if you want to check this out. Again, if you're going to buy one, I would just get the Lieutenant's Edition. I think, you're paying $60 for the book. You're getting like 30, 40 bucks of in-game stuff. That one seems to be the most worth it in my mind. And again, I've seen other reference books go for about that price too, so that seems to be the most reasonable. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.